Most companies in the world are trying to sell more. More products, more customers, more growth. That's the basic rule of business. If demand increases, you increase supply. Simple. But there is one company that completely ignores this rule. In fact, it does the exact opposite. Instead of selling more cars, it deliberately sells fewer, and somehow, this strategy makes them even more money. That company is Ferrari. Now at first, this sounds completely illogical. Why would a company refuse to sell more products when people are ready to buy them? Why limit your own growth? But once you understand the strategy behind it, you realize this is not a limitation. It's a weapon, a very powerful one. Ferrari doesn't just sell cars, it sells something much bigger: exclusivity. And exclusivity cannot exist if everyone can have it. Think about it like this: if every second person on the road was driving a Ferrari, would it still feel special? Probably not. It would just become another car. And that is exactly what Ferrari wants to avoid. So instead of maximizing production, Ferrari controls it very carefully. They intentionally produce fewer cars than the market demands. This creates a situation where demand is always higher than supply. And when demand is higher than supply, something interesting happens. People start waiting, not days, not weeks, sometimes years. Yes, customers are willing to wait years just to get their hands on a Ferrari. And here's the crazy part. Some customers are not even allowed to buy one. Ferrari doesn't just sell to anyone with money. In many cases, they select their customers. They look at your purchase history, your relationship with the brand, and sometimes even your reputation. In other words, you don't just choose Ferrari. Ferrari chooses you. Now imagine the psychological impact of that. When a brand starts rejecting buyers, it becomes even more desirable. Because suddenly, it's not just about money anymore. It's about access. And humans are naturally attracted to things that are hard to get. This is the core of Ferrari's strategy. Create demand, restrict supply, and increase desire. But Ferrari takes this even further. They don't just limit the number of cars. They also create special limited edition models. Cars that are produced in extremely small numbers, sometimes only a few hundred units worldwide. And these cars are often offered only to their most loyal customers. This creates a layered system of exclusivity. Regular Ferrari buyers, and then elite Ferrari buyers. And the higher you go, the rarer the access becomes. Now, from a business perspective, this is brilliant. Because Ferrari is not competing on volume, it is competing on value. Instead of selling millions of cars with small profit margins, Ferrari sells fewer cars with extremely high margins. Every car becomes a premium product. Every sale becomes significant, and the brand remains strong. But here's where things get even more interesting. This strategy doesn't just increase sales, it protects the brand's long-term value. Because when there are fewer cars in the market, resale prices remain high. And when resale prices remain high, buyers feel more confident purchasing new cars. Because they know they are not just buying a vehicle, they are buying something that holds its value. This creates a powerful cycle. Limited supply increases demand. High demand increases resale value. High resale value increases brand trust. And brand trust increases future demand. It's like a loop, constantly reinforcing itself. Now compare this to regular car companies. They produce millions of cars, which means supply is high. And when supply is high, prices drop, which leads to depreciation, which reduces long-term value. Ferrari avoids this entire problem by simply controlling supply. But of course, this strategy comes with risk. Because if Ferrari produces too few cars, it could limit its revenue. And if it produces too many, it could destroy its exclusivity. So the balance has to be perfect. And for decades, Ferrari has managed to maintain that balance. That's why even today, owning a Ferrari feels different. It's not just about speed. It's not just about design. It's about being part of something exclusive, something limited, something not everyone can have. And that feeling is what people are really paying for. Because at the end of the day, luxury is not about having something expensive. It's about having something rare. And Ferrari understands that better than almost anyone else in the world. That is the billion-dollar trick. Not selling more, but selling less. And making people want it even more.